Hello YouTube, this is Michael Jr. 91. Just getting back into what I love to do, and which is do the story mode Wednesdays. I'm back from deployment, as you guys can tell, back from Afghanistan. Been back for a couple of months now, and it was I wouldn't say it was a bad deployment. I wouldn't say it was a good deployment. I learned a lot of things, some good things, some bad things. Things not to do as a leader, things what to do as a leader, things to do as a soldier, things not to do as a soldier. So I learned a lot, like just being a junior enlisted, just learned a lot from my team leaders and squad leaders about how they take care of their soldiers and stuff like that during deployment and how they look out for their soldiers. But like I said, I'm here to give you guys a story. For anybody that's new to the channel, it's usually a story about my life, usually like a happy, sad, desperate, bad, something crazy that happened in my life. And most of the stories I usually tell you guys are usually bad things that happen to me, but that are funny to other people. Like they laugh at it because I guess they say I have some bad luck a lot of the times. So I got two stories for you, one before deployment and one during deployment. Now, the one during deployment, I'm just letting you guys know right now that it's not about any missions, no nothing. I'm not going to tell you guys about any missions or anything like that, or what I did on the FOB, what the FOB looks like. I just got a story to tell you guys about the mailroom and in Afghanistan. So my first story is before we deployed, everybody in the company, they got a chance to go on leave to see their families for 2.5 weeks. By the way, before I say all that, this is Evil Within. This is for the PlayStation 4, and yeah, I mean, you guys will see me die, I think like 3 or 4 times in this little video. I like the game, but the game is extremely difficult. The game's not scary though. A lot of people didn't want to get this game because they thought the game was going to be scary. It's actually not scary. Excuse me. I've grown up playing like games like Doom, Mortal Kombat, Silent Hill, Resident Evil, Dead Space, and stuff like that. So it's like once you play those games for a while, like you just kind of expect certain things, and games that are supposed to be scary. But this is the game I'm playing. Extremely difficult, like I said. One of the games I actually bought when I got back from deployment. But back to what I was saying. Sorry about that. Back to what I was saying is everybody in the company got a chance to go on leave to see their family. Well, for me, I decided to go to New Jersey to see some family I've never met before. So I thought it'd be a good thing in case something happens during the deployment. Got to meet some family I've never, haven't met before or anything like that. So I'm going from New York to New Jersey, and while I'm going to New York to New Jersey, I'm taking a bus, by the way. While I'm going to New York to New Jersey, our bus stops at this area. This bus stop. I don't know what city I was in. I don't know what state I was in. I can't remember. But what happens is I get off and I gotta use the restroom. They're like, "Hey, you got an hour delay before, or not delay. I forget what it was. It's kind of like a." Never mind. I'm not gonna try to explain it before I start like confusing everybody, or I start confusing myself because I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. But I'll just say a delay. Like I had to wait an hour before the next bus was ready, and so during that time I had to use the restroom. So I'm looking for the restroom, and the only thing I see is the female's restroom. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, usually if you see one restroom, the other restroom's usually like around the corner or right next to each other, or right across the hallway. Like they're not gonna put one bathroom here and then put the other bathroom all the way across, the bus station. So I'm looking around, and I finally find one. I see one that says men. Now, before I go on with the story, I'm going to let you know that I have terrible eyesight. I wasn't wearing my glasses that the military provided for me, so I had to step up a little bit. Like I was probably 4 or 5 feet away from this sign, and it was like, okay, it's the men's bathroom. So I go in, and the first thing I see is 2 black females with barely nothing on, just extremely short shorts, and I don't know what what you would call it, like the shirt that like just basically covers up your boobs, and it has like a strap around the shoulder, and that's all. It covers up the boobs and like the back, but like it shows like your midriff, like all your like everything, your stomach, your belly button, and your lower back. I don't know what type of shirts those are called, but that's, and they were wearing like high heels, and I guess they were putting on lipstick because they were looking in the mirror, and they had their backs towards the door, and they were doing something in the mirror. I'm guessing they were putting on makeup. And so I walk in, and the first thing I said, and my first thought was, I thought this was the men's restroom. So I step out, and I kind of look at the sign, and it says men's, and I walk back in, and I was like, this is the men's restroom. And then I turned, and there's a gentleman that's actually washing his hands, and I'm like, this is the men's restroom. I was like, so why are there two females? And I was like, all right, fine, whatever. So I go to use the restroom. I go in a stall because I'm like, okay, this is crazy right now. Like, I didn't want to pee out in the open. So I go to the stall, and I come out, and I wash my hands, and these females, they turn around. These two females turn around, and I swear, they look like dudes. Like, I don't want to sound messed up or anything, but they look like dudes. And I'm pretty sure they were trannies. So I'm pretty sure those were trannies, or like some really like ugly. I shouldn't say ugly. I don't believe people are ugly. I don't believe God made ugly people, but they were some very unattractive females. I don't know what they were. Well, so I'm over there washing my hands, and I'm just kind of like, what are they doing? And they turn, and they see me, and then they're like, oh, what's going on, cutie? You looking for a good time and everything like that? And like my heart, like I didn't get scared, but my heart like kind of like dropped. I was like, oh no, this is not happening. So I washed my hands real quick, and I dipped. Like, I just got out the bathroom. I was like, oh, nope, I'm not looking for a good time. And I just left. And I told my cousin and my coworkers and stuff like that. Like, when I got to my cousin's house, I told my coworkers when we got back from leave. And everybody was making fun of me and stuff like that. So that's one story. Now, the next story is during when we were about to leave for Afghanistan, a lot of us were trying to ship some supplies that we couldn't fit in our bags back home. So we were doing that. So I went on lunch before I shipped any of my stuff back. Well, this was a couple of days before I shipped my stuff back home. A couple of days before I went to the mailroom. But I'm going to chow with some of my buddies, and we usually mess with each other, and they said something to me, and I was just messing around with them. I was like, you guys, I don't want to deal with you guys. I don't want to see you guys. I just want to go back in the room. I'm tired of you guys. I was just messing around with them, and they're like, yo, man, come on. I was like, nope, I'm leaving. So I started walking and everything like that, and then all I hear is them like, no, Cortez, no, Michael, no, come back. And I didn't know what they were talking about. So I go back to the room, and I go back to the room with my shoes, and one of my buddies, actually one of my roommates and another buddy of mine, come in, and they're like, yo, bro, there was the only reason why we told you not to keep going is there was a tranny that was looking at you, bro, like on the shoes from across where we live. I was like, BS, bro. I was like, no lie, bro. Like, she was on the top bunk, or they said he was on the top bunk. They're like, no lie. He was on the top bunk, not top bunk, top floor. It's like, he was on the top floor just checking you out. And I was like, no, BS, bro. There's no trannies or anything like that here. And here on this fob, I don't know what you guys are talking about. You guys are retarded. And they're like, all right, fine, don't believe me. So I go to the mailroom because I got to return some packages. Now, this is a couple of days later. I go to the mailroom to return some packages. And don't do what I do if you guys are about to deploy and stuff on the fob. Or our unit SOP was to wear eye pro. And if you wore glasses, wear inserts in your eye pro in case anything happens. Well, I didn't do that. I was walking around without eye pro, and I didn't have my glasses on or anything. And so I go into the mailroom, and I see this girl with like a nice tan from the side, like her body, like she's sideways to the view I see, and like all I can see is like I can't see her face that well, but like I was just making out what her body was, and I was just like, okay, she's got a really nice body and stuff like that, nice, nice butt, nice chest. I'm sorry, I don't want to like, I don't want to degrade women or anything like that. Like that was just what was going on in my mind at the time. I don't want to sound degrading, but that was just going on going on in my mind during the time. And so I'm like, oh, she's pretty good looking. Or at least I thought she was good looking from the side that I saw of her. And I was like, you know, I'm going to try to get her to help me out to ship my packages. I'm going to spit some game at her. And so I'm in line. She walks away, and another female comes to help me out. And I'm like, all right, whatever. And then I see her walk out, but I can't make out her face that well because I like literally YouTube. I have terrible eyesight without my glasses on. Like my right eye, I can only read the first line below the E. Like I can barely read that. And in my left eye, I can read like 2, maybe 3 lines below the E. Like that's how bad my eyesight is. So I'm like trying to like make out what she looks like and everything like that. And I can't see that well because I'm trying not to make it obvious and everything like that. But I'm just like, dang, like I can't see her that well. I should have worn my glasses. So I go to my room, and I tell my 2 roommates, and I'm like, yo, man, there was like really good looking girl in the mail room. She was that sends out the mail. UPS, that's what it was. UPS in the UPS office instead of the mail. It was UPS. Sending out our packages. There's a really good looking girl at UPS, and they're all like, "Oh yeah, there's a good looking girl." Because you know during our like we haven't been around females. We're not really around females and stuff like that, or civilian females, I should say. We're so used to seeing everybody in uniforms that everybody's like, "Oh, for real? Like, you know, what does she look like and stuff like that?" So I'm describing her, and I'm like, "Yeah, she had a nice body, she had a nice tan and everything like that." And they're like, they went from like having a smile to like a straight like what the F like look on their face. And so they start describing, like they kind of cut me off and they start describing this girl a little bit. And I'm like, oh yeah, you guys know her? Like, yeah, she's pretty good looking. And they look at me and they're like, yo, bro, that's the tranny that was looking at you the other day. I was like, yeah, like that's not a girl, bro, that's a dude. And I'm like, nah, you guys are joking, right? They're like, nah, bro, that's a dude, that's a tranny. Like if you would have been wearing your glasses and you would have saw her face, you would have realized that she had hair all over her arms. She had the Adam's apple the size of an M4 and stuff like that. And she had a facial features of a dude, and she had a bulge in her pants. And I'm like, nah, bro, no. And then everybody in the room just starts making fun of me. And then one of my buddies come in, and he's like, oh, what's going on? And he's like, yeah, Cortez thinks that tranny in the UPS office looks pretty good. And then next thing I know, everybody just starts roasting on me and stuff like that. And I'm just like, man, I cannot win here. So those are the 2 stories I have for you guys today, YouTube. Hopefully you guys enjoyed them and stuff like that. I appreciate you guys viewing the video. Appreciate you guys liking, subscribing, sharing the video and stuff like that. I will be doing another video probably on the weekend, I would say, just talking about the new systems and some of the new games and stuff like that. Just my opinion on how some of these new games are being not played, but how we had certain expectations for these games, and they haven't turned out the way that we thought it was gonna be. So, but for this game right here, Evil Within, I recommend Evil Within. I mean, it's a hard game. You can see a lot of like Resident Evil elements into it because it is one of the creators of one of like Resident Evil 1 and 2 and I think like 4 or something like that. But I do recommend this game. This is actually really good. It's a really fun game. It's really difficult. As you can see, if anybody has ever played this, I'm right at the end of chapter 5. I didn't even know I was at the end of the 5th chapter. But yeah, and I probably died like 40 times already, and it's I mean the game's that difficult, but it's fun. So it's very rewarding too. So I appreciate you guys, YouTube, checking out the video and everything like that. I'll have another one posted next week and on the weekend too, possibly. So you guys enjoy your guys' day. Be blessed, and it feels good to be back.